So, it's been 1 year since I got my bike license and I'm still on the MT-03. Now, if you spend any time online, you'll know the pressure of feeling like you need to upgrade. And then there's people telling you that, oh, 300s are just toys and you'll outgrow it in a few months. You need an MT-09, you need an MT-07. But here's the thing, I'm not in a rush to upgrade. And today I'll be showing you exactly why I think I haven't outgrown this bike.
Right, now let's talk about the positives of this bike. And this is where those comments about people calling it a toy just fall apart. Because it isn't about the spec sheet. Where this bike shines is the weight of it. Now this is 168 kilograms. And mine weighs even less because I've taken off the stock exhaust. Now you just think 41 horsepower, 168 kilograms. This thing is rapid. If you had a 200 kilogram bike and you tried to throw that into a corner, it's not going to lean down as easy as you want it to. This just glides through corners, and I think that is where this bike truly shines. It performs best on back roads. Just look at it, so agile, so lightweight, just tips into these corners like it's nothing. Look at it. Tips right back out. What an amazing machine this is. What an amazing machine. Now if I did start off on a litre bike, a heavy litre bike, I don't think I would have learned how to lean properly on a bike. Now no, I obviously can't get a knee down. I'm not a MotoGP rider. But what I have learned in my year of riding this is how to lean properly and how to take corners properly and how to make nice lines and nice curves. I think having a nice forgiving and light bike like this really helped me to learn that. And I honestly don't think I could have done that on a heavier, more powerful bike, because I'd be battling with, you know, torque, snatchy throttle and things like that. That is one of the main reasons why I'm not in a rush to upgrade this, because I'm still learning how to ride the bike. You also hear a lot of things about people saying that it's more fun to go fast on a slow bike than it is to go fast on a fast bike. Now obviously I can only attest to the slower bike theory, but I will say there is something so special about being able to use this bike to its full potential, obviously on a private road. But no, I've seen so many videos of people riding litre bikes and they can't leave third gear. You know, with this I can go through all the rev ranges, I can go through all the gears, I can bounce off the limiter, and I can use 100% of this bike's power. And that is what makes this bike so special to me. Now, obviously I'm going to be realistic. A 300cc will have its limits, but within reason. It depends how you look at the 300cc, because this does exactly what it is supposed to do. If you're one of those guys who compares this to the MT-07, then no, it's not going to be enough, is it? Because that's 72 horsepower and this is 41. So yes, moving on from expectations, yes, this will have its limits. For example, if I am cruising at 70 miles an hour and I'm in 6th gear and I want to rapidly overtake something, I'll have to downshift at least 2 gears to use the rest of that power. Now that isn't to say that this is a slow bike, but you do have to know how to use the gearbox on this. It takes a lot more planning and a lot more thinking. It was on 1000s, pin the throttle back and you're off, no matter what gear you're in. So yes, in terms of that, it will have its limitations, but the way I see it is, as I've said, you just need to learn how to use the gearbox on this bike. And yes, obviously 41 horsepower will have its limits. You know, it will only be rapid to an extent. This bike has a lot of low end power, which is brilliant. But as you get up the gears, you know, you won't feel as much as that power. But low end power and low end torque is amazing, it's great fun. Like, I never not jump on this bike and have a great time. And also, getting these smaller capacity bikes, you know, they're not going to come with the highest tech. This doesn't come with cruise control, doesn't come with traction control, just ABS as standard. So things like that you won't be getting, but there's a lot to be said for that. You know, a lot of people do say bikes are better when they're kept simple, you know, when they don't have any gadgets, they don't have any fancy TFT displays, and I do agree with that. When I rode the NX 500 in Lanzarote in my previous videos, I wasn't a fan of that TFT display. In fact, I hated it. I like simplicity. And when you do get some of these smaller bikes, they often just come standard and stock with these simple features. So it depends on who you are. That could be a limit, but for me, that's actually a positive. It's a benefit for me. Right, now here's the harsh reality and the harsh truth that a lot of you don't want to hear. Now, going fast in a straight line does not mean you are a good rider. Now, I'm sorry, but it's just, Jesus Christ, but it's just the truth. Because the truth is, where the real skill is how you handle your low speed maneuvers. You know, can you crawl in traffic and keep your handlebars straight without putting your feet down? Can you do a tight U-turn without paddling your feet around? You know, the power of what you're sitting on doesn't determine how good you are at riding.
So, 12,000 miles later, am I bored? No, but am I a better rider? I would say so. Yes, naturally, I itch for more speed, but then we're just heading into illegal territory anyway. You know, don't upgrade when the comment section tells you to. Upgrade when you think you have outgrown the bike, and like many of us, I don't think I've outgrown this bike yet. So, if you are riding a smaller bike, and by smaller, I mean smaller capacity, so 500cc and below, even a 125, what makes that bike special to you? So naturally, a lot of you are probably wondering, so why am I keeping this bike? At the moment, this bike does everything that I want it to do. It's still fun for me, you know, I've still got on this bike and I still smile. And it's also cheap to run, it's cheap to insure. You know the nightmare I had trying to get insured on a CBF 500. So for me, this is just well within budget. And speaking of money, I've got my insurance renewal coming up soon, so I'll be doing a video on that. And fingers crossed the price drops. But I do want to hear from some of you in the comments. You know, are you getting pressured from friends or even your own social media to upgrade to a bigger bike? And do you actually feel ready? Because that's what matters the most. But yeah, as always, thank you all for watching, and I do appreciate all the support on the videos. And if you do enjoy content like this, then please let me know down below in the comments. And it would also mean a lot to me if you could share this video with someone who you know likes bikes. But yeah, as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Like, don't tell me that 300cc bikes aren't fun. God, I'm so sick. I just feel so sick and congested. Ooh. This is why I always go slow approaching junctions, because you never know if they're going to stop.